Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, good to see a lot of familiar faces. Yeah, I'm on the call
Hi,
now.
Krishna.
Hey, Ranga. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. Hey, Nasir. Hey, Krishna. We'll give one more minute for folks to join. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome.
Looks like today is the day after many attempts.
Yeah, today is the
We
day
could
after
make
many-
it.
Yes, we could make this. Today, even today, like there are, I think 4 folks who couldn't join. Weekend sessions are tough. There was Kranti and two ladies who couldn't join.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have a forum. So let me get started. Making sure I can see you all. Yeah, appreciate if you all can come on camera. That would be really helpful for the engagement. Hey Jing, hey Leo. Okay, so let's get the logistic out of the way. So we will be working off of this Slack workspace, Friends of Krishna Bootcamp. I didn't create a separate workspace for this because I want continuity, and I didn't want you guys to, after the bootcamp, to have to join another workspace just to the community. So we'll have a private channel where we'll do all of our activities, and would love for all of you to introduce yourself in this channel, introduction channel. Is everyone able to access this Slack? Let's get that out of the way. Yes, okay, enough. Thanks. So because we'll be doing activities here, just quickly check once, and if anyone is not able to access, just flag that. Please raise your hand, and Kaustubh will help us with that. Okay, looks like everyone is able to access. Perfect. Oops. Is the screen share okay? Good. Let's get started. So welcome to the day 1 of the bootcamp. This has been a labor of love, and I really wanted to get this started, and like the schedule has been an issue. Even today, I'm partly sick, but I didn't want to move this out. I just wanted to get this started and meet you all. So because of that, maybe we'll not go full 4 hours based on my energy. And what we'll do is we'll break it into this weekend and next weekend. Is anyone not able to attend next weekend, like Saturday, Sundays? Can you all make next weekend as well? Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for the flexibility there. What that will also allow us is we can carry over the activities over during the week, and I can give you feedback on the activities that we do during the week. So that is great. So now that we have all the logistics out of the way, let's get started with quick introductions. On this channel, Deliberate Career Workshop on Slack, can you post answer to this? Where are you from? Because we have a lot of new set of folks here. And who has been the biggest impact on your career? Who has had the biggest impact on your career?
In which channel do we need to post this?
So we have a Deliberate Career Workshop channel.
Sure.
Is everyone able to see that channel? Awesome.
Yeah, Krishna, can I just have a talk? Hello?
Yeah. Hi, Anand.
Yeah, I can just see introduction. I don't see the other one.
Deliberate Career Workshop. Okay.
Yeah.
Kaustubh, can you help add Anand there? Kaustubh, you're on mute. Can you hear us?
Yes, Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anand, might be because you're probably not gonna join this, and you had requested a move. Maybe that's the reason. So
Yeah.
thanks. We are really glad you could make it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oscar from Hyderabad, Nikhil. Yes. Nikhil's point is around osmosis, peers. If you are at the right set of peers, you grow. Hi Swati, hi Manuel. So we are on the Slack channel and just wanting to make sure we let us know if you are not able to access the Slack. Nikta, welcome. This is great. This is great to have a partner like that. Father. Great to hear that. Lucky, Jing. Great. Yeah, now that we have all the Slack setup done, we have folks who can access. Let's jump right in. Let's say, first of all, I want to have a ton of gratitude for you guys joining. This is a weekend. I know you could be doing 10,000 other things. You are choosing to invest on yourself. You're choosing to join a community that is growth minded. You are looking for constantly learning, and the biggest value that I get out of doing this is interacting with you guys. And the constant feedback from the community has been such a positive connections that people build. It's rare to find such a group over the internet where you are deeply invested in your own growth and you are looking for ways to lift yourself and others. So my tons of gratitude that you are choosing to invest your time here. I take it very seriously, and I take it with immense amount of gratitude, and I want to add value to each one of you, not just through this bootcamp, but also I have a lot of big plans around how we take this community and make it recurring, so that it's not just one-off bootcamps. We have recurring mechanisms, recurring activities that just keep us help growing. So quick introduction for folks who have not been in the previous boot camps. Krishna, I was with Amazon for 12 years, grew as a leader there. Now I'm a VP engineering at BetterUp because I found a company which is very aligned with my mission. And I'm a techie at heart. I still want to be involved with technology. This is my family. I have twin boys, Achut and Anand. This is my wife, Shilpa. My favorite food is dal chawal. And when I'm not working, I volunteer for Isha, and I really resonate with helping kids go to school who are not able to afford education, somehow make it happen for them. So I do this boot camp, and I fund kids education. So far been able to scale. I started off with 5, then 50, now close to 100. So hopefully I can continue scaling this. And you guys are a big reason that I'm able to do this. Really grateful for that. And hopefully I can continue to add value to all of your career. So Ranga, you posted something. Was that a question?
Or no, I think I did not do it on the Slack. So
Got it.
sorry, I think I do it in there.
No, that's good. So this is about me quickly. So I would love for, okay, let's do why I do this. As I mentioned, I love hanging out with growth seekers. Building a community is fun. Scale my impact and also raise fund for Isha Vidya. So let's set the tone for the bootcamp. Not a traditional course. I won't be teaching or preaching. My intent is through activities you have self-reflection and you learn about yourself, about what has worked for yourself in the past, what is working for others in this community, and learn from each other and grow. The safe space, you can ask difficult questions, go out of your comfort zone, experiment, and focus is on learning by doing. I think you can find theory on the internet, but and the books and videos, it's not about the information, it's about how do you apply in your own life and make it practical and really make it concrete in your work. This is going to be interactive, so please feel free to pause me at any time, raise your Zoom hand. So let's just practice that. If you can raise your Zoom hand so that you can let me know, just all of you try that out once. You can lower your hand. So this is how you will let me know if you want me to pause. I'll be looking out for the signal. And my ask is to push yourself out of to do uncomfortable things. Stretch your comfort zone. This is a safe space to practice stretching your comfort zone. So feel free to interrupt anytime. You don't have to wait till the end of the presentations for Q&A. I would like a conversational tone in this session. So let's take a class photo. I do this so that I can get folks on video. I know there is hesitation always to come on video. Please, folks, if you can come on video, we'll take a class photo. Swati, Sudhanshu. Awesome. Okay, I'll take a class photo. Share it later with the group. So let's start by doing this activity because this is a new group. This might look familiar, but it's important to orient you in the right mindset. So in your room, close your eyes and open your eyes and look for red objects in your room and count how many red you can find just quickly, and close your eyes, come back, close your eyes. And now tell me how many blue objects are there in the room. Type it in the chat. How many blue can you recognize? 0, 2. Not sure. Yeah. So this shows a important aspect of our brain, our consciousness. Whatever we focus on, our brain has the tendency to mask everything else. When you are focusing on red, it masked all the blue objects. So focus is the power. Each of us are in different stage of the career. Each of us have different challenges that they're facing. The opportunities in front of you are different. So this boot camp, I want you to pick a focus area, what you want to get out of this boot camp. Pick a focus area, and while we go through the remaining of the boot camp, I'm sure then you will find connecting dots related to that focus area. So if you can type in chat, what is the best outcome that you can get out of this boot camp? If this boot camp in 2 weeks is going to be life-changing for you, what is the best outcome that you can get out of this boot camp? Given where you are in your career, what breakthrough are you looking for? Aditya, that's being very deliberate. The focus area that matters to you. Very deliberate here. Thank you. Signa, we have a lot of activities here that will drive clarity on that. This is a good intention here. Setting your intentions out of the bootcamp. This is great. Change at work, how to accelerate. Right. Wait for Nasir and we'll continue. Anand, are you able to access Slack yet?
No, it's
Not yet?
still not
Okay.
able to access that channel. Yeah.
Okay. Kaustubh, any updates there?
I'll add him in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
The reason I also do this in as a group activity is when we see others, what they're focusing on, there is this element of spotlight effect that we put on ourselves that, hey, I'm the only one with challenges. But when you see the group at different phases, I think that gives you confidence and gives you grounding that, hey, this is I'm not the only one with challenges, and as a group we can work through this together. So this is great. So I will make sure session 3 and 4 will cover these things if they are not already covering this. I keep things dynamic in each of the sessions based on my students' needs. So we'll make sure that each of you can walk away with meaningful progress on the outcome that you want. So this is great. Thanks for setting the intention. Thanks for being thoughtful about this. Good. So look for golden nuggets throughout the session. Golden nuggets are aha moments. One golden nugget could be 10x the worth of this bootcamp price. So my goal is I want you to not just have aha moments, I want you to take action. I want to increase your confidence and have fun for the next 2 weeks. So we course tenets, my working backward plan is you learn by doing. There is this power of community, which I am doubling down more on the power of community because of the impact that I'm seeing. And there is so much potential for this community now that we are reasonably big. We have critical mass. We can be doing things that help a lot. We can be relying on accountability with each other. We can be relying on learnings, trends, opportunities now that we have a critical mass in the community. Again, being a safe space. So 70% structured, 30% discussions. So it's okay if I am not able to complete all of the slides for today. We'll keep I'm okay to go overtime. But if you have important questions during the discussion, please bring it up. So if you can either ask questions, or if you have a counterpoint, if you have a counter example, or if you have an example that would add value to the discussion, please free to bring those up. So the more you put in here, the more you'll get back. So the next couple of hours, make sure that you are contributing, make sure you are also fully engaged. Okay, so I want to start with a warning, because what I'm going to discuss is mainly for ambitious and talented people. It can backfire if you don't apply it in the right context. I don't want to give you strategies and activities that will work for everyone. If I do that, I'll be diluting it down. in an attempt to make it work for everyone, if I dilute it down, the potency would be gone. So this is advanced stuff, and you will need to use your judgment. But I've seen all of this work wonderfully well with hundreds of people that I've coached, and hundreds of people that have been in my bootcamp. So this is context is important, judgment is important. These are sometimes counterintuitive, so use your judgment. So this is not for everyone. If you have been in a theme park, this is definitely not for people who are just 2 to 3 years in their career. This is I'm focusing mainly for senior folks, leader of leaders. So today we'll cover parts of this. We'll see how much we can cover. We'll look at uncommon insights, keys to grow your competence faster. So all of my bootcamp, my primary focus is on how do we accelerate the pace of learning, of becoming more competent. There is no other shortcut, right? So the only hack is to become competent faster than average. That's there is no other hack. Like competency is the fundamental. We'll be focusing on that. We'll also look at some mindsets around how to be prepared. Common mistakes that I see people do. For example, people will only prepare to move only when they are looking for a move. It's in the macro we are in the if we want to be really deliberate about our career, we should always be ready for a switch. How do we get into that mindset? What are the lightweight things? 1% time, how you can invest 1% time, and how can you always be ready for a switch? Whether it's say layoff that happens, you are immediately able to recover and join, or if there is a golden opportunity that you cite, and while you are hunting for opportunities, how can you quickly switch to those? When opportunities open up, you are prepared. It doesn't take you 3 months, 4 months to prepare when a great opportunity shows up. How do we do that with 1% investment of your time? So that is a big focus of the area. So I think this is an under-invested area by most people, and this is one of the highest leverage things that you can do. So give me a thumbs up if you are excited about that part. How many of you feel the pain of preparation? Right? Okay, great to see all of this. So this would be a big outcome. By end of this bootcamp, over the next 2 weeks, one of the outcome that I've set for myself is that you should feel confident about having a clear strategy to be ever ready. This is not a time where you have the luxury to go prepare after you get impacted. So that's one big outcome, and it completely flips how proactive you are about your career. You are hunting for opportunities all the time, not just when you are not happy with your current role and you want to make a switch. So that's one big mindset change that I want out of this. So then these are the other things we'll cover. It's not important. I don't want to overload you here. We'll go through them. So let me start by my career journey. So this is inspired by Tim Urban's graphic, which is quite popular on the internet. So today this is the life path that you took. So my life path, especially just if I just focus on career, is started off back in 2005 as a engineer in HCL. It's for folks who don't know, it's similar to Infosys and Wipro. It's one of the bulk hiring companies. I was from a tier 3 college, so this was a big deal for me back then. So but what I did was deliberately switched to Adobe within 9 months. That 9 months that I was at HCL, or 1 year before that, I was preparing to I was very deliberate about the kind of companies that I want to work for. So Adobe, this was a turning point in my career. So there I was working, there I grew to computer scientist. I worked there for 4.5 years, had an amazing learning experience. This was my first real job. I met really talented people, and I worked on something called Adobe Flash. And when I thought I'm set for my career, and this is going really well. I was getting promoted really fast, faster than average. I was having fun with the work. And then a big technology change happened, which is iPhone got released in 2007. Flash became obsolete. And this was a time where I chose, okay, I can be here, I'm growing fast. If I'm here, I could grow quickly, but I would be working on a dying technology. So this is where I wanted to switch. I switched to Amazon and cloud. Then again, good learning opportunities there. Then I became a manager there, forced to become a manager there. And then leader of leaders. And now today I took a big pay cut. I took a big career risk by joining a startup. For many, it is a surprising thing that I did, but it's a deliberate choice that I made. And the reason I'm sharing this is you are today an outcome of what choices you made, right? So if you look at your career, you would have made tons of choices and where you are today. But the important thing is there is millions of opportunities. You can take any path that you choose. You can completely change the direction of your career from where you are today. So let's do this activity. Audio is good. Okay. Let's do this activity on Slack. Create your own life visualizer. If you open this link, just reflect on your career and fill in the biggest decision points that you took so far in your career. And once you fill this in, you can download this and post it in the Slack. Aditya?
Sorry, I'm still not clear how you decided which one goes to the black and which one goes on the green.
Oh, okay. So basically, when I made a decision here, so this path got closed off. So black is the closed off path. When you are you make a decision, you are choosing between paths, and the green path is the path that you decided to go on, and so that basically you didn't travel the black path.
Got it. Makes sense. Thank you.
If you guys can take is everyone able to access that link? Are you able to edit? really reflect on what changed the direction of your career completely. What decisions so far change the direction?
Are we making the changes on the browser itself, or do we download it?
Yeah, you can make the change on the browser, and then once you are done with the edits, you can download it and you can post it.
Okay.
There's a download button here, and then you can post it on the Slack. Just to clarify, the ask is just fill these boxes with the major events in your career so far, download and upload here. Good reflection here, Jink. Thanks for sharing this, Vijay. Any reflections on doing this activity? Do you look at your career in a different way? Any reflections? Okay, we'll give 2 more minutes for folks to complete it, and then we'll do. allow this first one, Swati. This is super. Looks like that was super intentional here. Yeah, Nikhil, looks like you took the same risk I'm taking right now. It's good. Any reflections on this? Raise your hands and share if you had any aha moments or any reflections. Choosing a path, closing of other paths. Yeah, Vijay. Do you want to share?
It's all about visualization, right? For that brief moment, I went back and actually looked at things, how or what things shaped me up today, right? So probably I think 3 minutes, 2 minutes we did, or I did, but then yeah, it connected me to all those 20 plus years I've spent in this industry, right? So pretty good. I don't look back or reflect back. Honestly, I some reason that reflection doesn't work for me. but then yeah, it was good to connect back to those memories for a brief moment. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. How many of you feel this way? I definitely do feel this way. Abhinav, yeah. Swati, this is a common thing. So you're not alone. Like I definitely felt this when I did this. But the good part is you are the youngest you will ever be, right? 2 years down the line, you'll probably think back, had I taken more risk 2 years ago, right? So that's a really, really good insight. This is probably a golden nugget so far. This is thank you. Thanks for
Yeah,
sharing.
I just want to add that, right? Yeah, risks we all take, but then the quality of risk is what matters, right? So the higher the aim, right, the larger the risk. What you let you go versus what you're going to get, right? Something that is unknown, right? So that's what I think actually like what matters, and staying in the game or having that patience, you will see that it pays off, right, in the long term. So that's
Yes.
something probably we should cherish for.
I think the current skill I'm working on is trying to be patient.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting dichotomy there. Eagerness, bias for action to take more risks, and patience to wait for the right opportunity, which is like classic Warren Buffett says, like, don't swing for every opportunity that you get, like wait for the perfect sweet spot, right? So investment and also in career, but you should put yourself in a spot where you are thrown a lot of opportunities, right? It's good to be patient, but one of the primary motives I want, like the mindset change I want, is like, how do we put ourselves in a place where you get thrown a lot of balls? You can choose not to hit or swing, but most of us and most of the people that I coach are not putting themselves out there where they get thrown a lot of balls, right? So how do you position yourself to see a flood of opportunities so that you can decide which one to swing for? So that's one core thing that I want as an outcome after 2 weeks of this together here.
And one more thing I did not mention, Krishna, is how do we prepare? There is a lot of material out there on LinkedIn, on Google, on LeetCode. 10 out of 10 engineers out there will be on LeetCode practicing every problem, but then that will not give you an edge. Like
Yeah.
whenever you give interviews, I mean, as an interviewee and the interviewer, you both know that there are questions out there and there are solutions. It's just that in 20 minutes, it's very difficult to gauge your ability. And there is always this inertia of preparation. Like
Yes.
when you are in that rush of a job search for 3 months to dedicate that time, I would, because right now, earlier for me, the priority was intensity, but right now my focus is consistency over intensity.
Totally. I love that. Yeah. So that's the focus of this bootcamp as well, consistency over intensity, because intensity dies 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's hard to keep an intensity for 1 year. Consistency is something that you can strive for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So I love that mindset.
And another thing is that, like, when you are a fresher, it is easier for you to adapt. Like 3 years or 6 years down the lane, at least my goal is I don't want to be competing with fresh grads in an interview. I want to position myself like, you know what, this is an opportunity. I can do it. I don't want to keep begging and asking.
I love that. You are stealing some of my slides. So this is awesome. So you are in the right place. We'll do deliberate activities around this. Thank you. Thank you for sharing what's top of your mind. This is how many resonate with Swati there? How many of you feel like I'm not building an edge? 2 years down the line, what I'm working on would be a commodity. How do we, yeah, so Swati, see the reactions there. So you're speaking all of our minds. So this is great. Any other reflections before
I want to
yeah,
I want to kill the insecurity and the fear, Krishna. Like wherever I'm on globe, I should not be like, oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? It's just that I'm adding a certain value and people should invest in me. That is the biggest takeaway for me.
love it. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Sorry, who was speaking?
Hi, Nikhil this side.
Hey, Nick.
So I think already someone asked the question around black lines in the visualizer.
Mhm.
Somehow considering they are the paths which were not taken, right? So maybe that's why they are undefined in the diagram, right? But I am confused around like how they add value in terms of visualization, because we are not even tagging them even on imaginary goals, right? Or imaginary milestones which could have come up if we have went through those paths, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, even if we remove the black lines or we keep it, are we not visualizing the same thing? Just the biggest impact areas which we have documented, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Black lines don't matter, right?
Okay.
You can't do anything about them, right? So it could also be like you say, suppose you are here, you chose some line, and you now can deliberately choose this path which goes towards closer to the line that you would have gone. You made a choice, you experimented with something, that experiment didn't work out. You can go back to the closer to the previous path that you were. For example, you tried out management, right? So here I was literally pushed to become a manager at Amazon the first time I became. So here I went in with considering it as like a two-way door. Okay, I'm trusting this leader who sees something in me that I'll be good. I don't believe I'll be great here, but this leader has much more experience and they are nudging me to do this. Let me give it a shot. And if I don't like what I see on the other side, I can go back to my IC path, right? So that if this had not worked out and if I had not enjoyed it, I would have gone back to a retraced back to a black line. Does that help?
I think, Krishna, the way I now understood better, maybe the visualizer is, we are more of trying to analyze 2 consecutive, or let's say 3 consecutive milestones, right? Or decisions we have taken, and then retrospective, like, did we change directions deliberately, and the reason around it, and how they added value in the long term.
Yes. Are we being deliberate? Exactly. Are we being deliberate, or we just chose a path and we are continuing on the path because we didn't retrospect, right? So,
so instead of black line, maybe the 2 consecutive or maybe 3 consecutive points tagged milestones being compared, right, for retrospective purpose, right? Like, just for an example, I also had a similar example where I moved to engineering management and then later decided to again move back to IC, right? So I think this can be done without even looking at the black lines, right?
Yeah.
In the diagram.
Yeah. Okay. So my request to you, or my suggestion would be, like, don't even bother about the black lines, because you can't control them. So you are here. What matters is this, right? So we did this activity just to bring it to the forefront that all these decisions that we make, we are taking a branch in the multiverse, right? So so how can we be more deliberate, like either positioning a decision as, hey, this is an experiment that I'll evaluate for next 2 months, and these are my paths. So being more deliberate is the biggest takeaway here I want you to take, is like, you have millions of opportunities in front of you. What you did doesn't matter. It's where you want to go, and based on what you truly care about. Like, we'll go through those activities in future, in the coming slides, but the takeaway here is focus on the green in future, and you can be anything that you want. So, Manuel, you had a question? Adi, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Swati was mentioning earlier. One of the things I'm hoping to take away from this bootcamp is I want to build a strong sense of instinct. What I realized is that over my career, I've relied too heavily on validation from my peers and managers. I want to be in a position where I know what I'm worthy of, and yeah, I can build that kind of self-confidence, so I know what I bring to the table.
Awesome. The other angle is, many of us choose career paths. I have been guilty of this as well. And I see this again and again in the people I coach, is we choose paths not because they feel intrinsically right for us, but we choose paths based on LinkedIn envy. My friend has grown from X to Y. Let me choose that path because that seems good. That LinkedIn profile looks good. So there is immense pressure to do that. And if you're not conscious, LinkedIn envy is the default that most people go to without even realizing it. So one thing when we are trying to be deliberate is forgetting about that LinkedIn envy, forgetting about the local maxima that you are seeing with your friends group, because you're not exploring everything. When you are just comparing yourself with your friends group and you are deciding your path based on that, you're going for a local maxima, right? So that is one thing that I find as a constant struggle to fight against, because you're seeing you're talking to friends, you're seeing friends, relatives, your peers, your ex-colleagues, oh, this person has grown much more than what I have grown. This is a common source of frustration. But you don't know the full story of that person, right? They may not be happy with what they have. So one core pillar I want of this is that you forget about LinkedIn envy, figure out what you really want, and design a career around what will make you happy. So we'll go through some activities around that. Afsir?
So from your path, just one question I have is like, how much deliberate you were when you're taking each step? Like, was it just like a high level thought, like, okay, being manager might be good for me, or did you have like concrete like checkpoints in the future that you like planned, or did you just
So
went into that path thinking it's a good option?
Yeah, so really good question. So I wish I could say I was 100% deliberate. I would say I was about 40% deliberate in most of my decisions. But of late, in the past 3 years, I've been super deliberate. The change that happened was biggest turning point there was like lost my mom, and I started questioning about what is the meaning of life, what do I really want out of my life. All of those questions came. That was one pivotal moment in my career. I was usually more deliberate than average throughout my career, but that point made me super deliberate about what do I want about each of my life choices. For example, here, so I come from a very small college. Maybe 5% of the people got placed, or 2% of the people got placed out of college, and of them, I would say 95% continued on that job for the first 2-3 years, because that is the conventional wisdom. Okay, you have your first job, you do good for 2 years, then switch, learn a lot, then switch, right? So here I took a very unconventional path. Once I joined HCL, I moved within 9 months. So that means that I was working, and from day one I was preparing for my next role. And I had to grow a lot because the gap was huge. I was not ready for an Adobe kind of a culture or like intensity right out of college, because my competence level was not high. So that window, I really invested and improved my competence to join Adobe, which I think is one of the best decisions that I made, because the compounding effect of that, compounding effect of your early decisions is much more than any decision that I make today will have far lesser compounding effect than that decision that I made further, right? But any decision that I make today will have much more compounding effect than the decision that I make 5 years from now. So that is one realization there, right? So few things here. So I'm switching from here to here. So I had a high level picture that I want to go to US. I want to be in US. So if I put myself back here, the deliberate part was I wanted to be in a top tier product company. I want to go to US. These were my rough North Stars. I hadn't laid out exactly how I'll do that. And I didn't want to go to do a master's in US, partly because I couldn't afford to do it, because I had to support my family. And also I didn't feel the value of like 2 years spending so much money when there is a small path, where is an L1 visa path, which not many people take. The default is to do a master's here, right? Yeah. So yeah, very thought-provoking question. So I'd say like I had North Star high level ideas without clear path on how to get there. And I just figured out on the way how to get there. Thanks for that question. Okay. Aditya, what was this reaction around? Oh my God, that's too real on the Slack.
The point around LinkedIn envy.
LinkedIn envy.
It's been too real for me, especially since 2020, like post-pandemic. That's been a big, yeah.
How many resonate with that? How many are actively fighting that?
Very much.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to fight that. Even though I have made some bold moves, it gets to me sometimes. So it's hard. You have to consciously fight for it. Swati, did you have any point to it?
Yeah, I think Krishna, doing is one thing, projecting is another thing. A lot of us do, but sometimes we are not great at expressing our accomplishments. We just pass it off as responsibilities. I think that is where the envy stems from.
I agree.
I mean,
Optics.
there are a lot of people who consciously work on their LinkedIn profiles, like every day, 2 or 3 sentences over here, the vocabulary. I just realized vocabulary makes a lot of difference. I drove this versus I did this.
Yeah. I was part of a team versus I drove this, right? World of difference. You could have done the exact same thing. How you project optics. I think optics is one of the underappreciated thing. People feel it is politics to do optics. It's not. You have to project your best self, because if you don't, you are competing with people who are projecting their best self, right? So I love the point that you brought up there. Thanks for it.
And again, like I designed this solution versus this solution created an impact where it brought down the errors or it improved the performance by 30%. Like it's just that, just give people what they want. But you're not the only one who has realized that. There are a lot more people who know this.
Adi?
Just adding to that, like in the past few years, I've noticed that a lot of people that I look up to have become what I'd like to call LinkedIn influencers almost. That is a skill that I don't possess. Like as Swati was saying, I go about my job, and as I was mentioning earlier, the only validation I'm looking for is from my boss. That's been a source of envy as well, to see friends and connections be able to communicate their thoughts so beautifully through the LinkedIn posts. At times, I also wonder how they're able to make so much time, and if it's more optics than actual work. So yeah, just putting it out there.
Ultimately everything boils down to your competence. You can't fake it till you make it beyond a point. Competence matters, but optics also matters. So great discussion around that. Okay, we did this. So let's start with the key idea. I think Swati touched upon this. So the core is, if you're doing what most people are doing, you'll end up where most people end up, right? But the challenge is majority of people keep doing what most people are doing, because by definition, that's the thing, right? So to have standout careers, you have to pick unconventional ideas and be right about it. That is the hard part. That's true with careers. That's true with startups, right? Any idea that is successful, Sam Altman says this very beautifully. So you have to have a counterintuitive idea. You have to be a contrarian and be right to have outsized impact, to have like an outsized growth, disproportionate growth, right? So that is the key idea. So so we'll look at multiple things which are unconventional here. So any thoughts on this idea? I think Swati, you had mentioned exactly this in some other words, but any other thoughts on this?
I think, okay, there is a very, what do I say, fine line between, being overly critical about oneself and trying to be analytical about what you're doing, Krishna. I am guilty of, I think I have this imposter syndrome every once in a while, and I'm like too critical of my work. If this is not giving the desired impact, the first thing is like, where did I go wrong? Instead of thinking, what could I have done better? And something, and one more thing is like, it's very important to be relevant. So, and yeah, like, it's just that another thing is like, LinkedIn can't be your source of inspiration all the time. Just
Yeah.
every now and then you have to keep I feel like self introspection is more important. Like, hey, this is what I wanted to achieve. Am I getting lost in this task, or am I really achieving my goal? As they say, like, short recoverable setbacks are better than a long non recoverable one.
Yeah, that's experimenting quickly, recovering is a key part of deliberate.
I would say try sooner and fail fast.
Yeah. So a lot of what we are talking about all feels like we are talking about building startups, right? Fail fast. It's thinking about your career as a startup, thinking about your career as a product is the key aspect. So we'll come to that. So thanks for those chipping in there. Adi, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to your question earlier about how I think one of the things that I'm noticing from my network, and it's easier said than done, is to really invest your efforts in what you truly believe in. And a lot of times, what you truly believe in might not be the latest trend, or might not be the most popular thing currently, but purely by virtue of the fact that you believe in it and you're emotionally invested in it, it might yield results in the future. Like I have a favorite anecdote of a friend who invested time in learning ML way before it was a buzzword, and he just focused on creating like hobby projects, and rather than the actual job he was doing, that hobby, that side project of his got him a job in Nvidia, and he picked that job only, he didn't know about Nvidia at that point, and he picked that job only because it was a 20-minute drive from his place, and that changed his life. And today he leads like the self-driving project for Nvidia at this point. And so the thing he keeps telling me is that yeah, he got a big opportunity because he invested time in things that he truly believed in and he truly enjoyed. And sometimes that might just turn out to be a matter of luck, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. So the thing is, I think this ties to Jeff Bezos' quote, which I really love. So you can't chase a wave. You can only position yourself to the next coming wave, right? So if you are like surfing, you can't be, once the wave is gone, the wave is gone, right? So what you do well and just wait for the wave. Pick a thing that you will enjoy doing and just wait for the wave to so that you can ride it. So very relevant. Thank you for sharing that.
And one more thing, Krishna, I think I know, like, it's not, I mean, it's a good thing to keep pushing the envelope, to bring yourself come out of the comfort zone. A lot of times we do forget to play on our strengths, and I think that kind of awareness is necessary. Like, if you really want to position yourself for the right opportunities, I think 7 out of 10 times, like, people play by their strengths. Like, you cannot experiment or come out of your comfort zone when you're really looking for an opportunity that is going to make an orbital shift in your life.
100%. So folks who have been part of the Career Accelerator Bootcamp, like they can tell you this. I think 30% of that bootcamp is focusing on uncovering your strengths and how do we double down on that and like doing activities to really use your strengths. So 100% resonate with you. this bootcamp will not be focusing on that, but like that is a really important aspect of doubling down on your strength. Good call. So again, extension of this is competition is for losers. Does anyone know like whose quote is this? Has anyone heard this before? This is from Paul Graham, 0 to 1 book. That's the core thesis of this. So what this means is whenever this is for companies, you get disproportionate value if you make competition irrelevant. You can monetize your work only if you are in a space where the competition is low, right? But by default, the big tech or most of us usually are cogs, even myself included, usually are cogs, replaceable cogs, right? So there is there are 100 different people who are competing for your role. If you're just going by the job definition, 100 other people are competing for that job. But how do you not have competition for yourself where you are the person who your leadership or your company or the market outside is looking for? That happens only when you are not just competing for the average job, right? So this is an important mindset. This is this is super hard to do. So like even a staff engineer, right? There is staff or staff engineer and SD3 in many companies. So that role, there are hundreds of people who are technically eligible for that job description there, right? So how do you, it's not just about the interviews, so it's about how do you build a profile where you are so unique in a key domain that people will come look for you, or opportunities will start flowing to you. So competition is for losers is a key idea. So let's look at what is the opposite of competition? If you don't want competition, what is the opposite of competition? What is the keyword here? Any idea? So if you look at companies, just to give you some hint, if you look at companies, who are the people who don't have any competition? It used to be Google in search. Google doesn't have any competition, but with OpenAI, things have changed, right? Radical disruption there. So before OpenAI, what was Google? Google was a monopoly, right? So
monopoly, right?
Yeah, monopoly, right? So you want your career to be a monopoly, like your skill set to be a monopoly. So how do you do that? Like, what are the other monopolies you can think of, right? Apple is a monopoly because of their ecosystem. Everything is so well integrated, and there is such a high cost of not being in the Apple ecosystem. It has made itself a monopoly by network effects, right? What other monopolies come to your mind?
I would say Microsoft. I mean, ever since I have been a kid, I have been using Microsoft Office, and I think it was a deliberate decision from Microsoft. I'm like, if you want everybody to use, then you should be able to give all the features that everybody needs. I think the opposite of competition is being unique. Like, nobody should be able to imitate what you're offering.
You get there because you kind of build a monopoly, right? So if nobody is able to imitate, so the definition of monopoly is others are not able to catch up with you. So so exactly to your point. So how do you become that, right? So this is a super interesting question. Any thoughts on that? Like, how can you build a monopolistic career?
So
I think I
Krishna,
said
yes.
something about,
Go ahead.
yeah, I said something about like blue ocean or blue waters, right?
Right.
So the thing is actually like bring out your passion and actually just keep on exploring it, getting better and better day by day, right? That itself will give you that edge, right, to create your own market in a way, right? But then yeah, finding your own passion given the busy life that we have is not easy. That's where we struggle.
Yeah.
That's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
One,
So is
yeah,
everyone
one,
clear on the blue ocean? What Vijay mentioned? So opposite of blue ocean is red ocean. Red ocean is where where competitors are fighting and there is a lot of blood in the water, right? Blue ocean is where there is not much competition, and you have to constantly create and look for waters which are blue, and you move towards those blue waters. What that means in your career is you are trying to pick areas which by you are deliberately picking areas which are your strengths and there is intrinsically lower competition. So if you are able to find places where the competition is low and the rewards are high, you have an unfair advantage. But that means that you are constantly exploring the waters. You are taking risks and going and seeing, hey, is this water blue or red? If it turns out to be red, you start moving and figuring out if this is this water blue or red. So you are constantly looking for blue oceans where the competition is low and the rewards are high. It is risky. There is higher chance of failure, but if you hit a spot, you can reap rewards for a couple of years, but eventually that will become red because others are also looking, right? So you have to be in this constant cycle of innovation and looking for getting to a blue ocean. And once you are in a blue ocean, keep looking for the next blue ocean because it will eventually become a red ocean. So that's the core of that blue ocean strategy. Vijay, thanks for bringing that up. They're very relevant to this discussion.
So when you say picking something with low competition, right? Does it like in practically is it like always choosing one kind of role or one kind of domain or other ways of what other ways are there like to pick something that is low in competition? Is it like some skill or something?
Yeah, great question. This is wonderful question. So I think Nafsir, we talked about a concept of skill stacking in the Career Excel Bootcamp, right? So skill stacking is a way where you can become unique. So you are a developer. So I'm assuming you are a developer. You are at Google. You are a senior engineer at Google or a staff engineer at Google. How do you differentiate yourself from others, right? So you are trying to differentiate. So a blue ocean for a staff engineer at Google is a person who's really technical, and now he has good product sense, who's able to influence the product direction as well as technical direction. You kind of become a unicorn. There are very few staff engineers who have great product sense, right? So you have to figure out if building that product sense, I think that is an unfair advantage you can build, but it should also be that you would enjoy doing it, right? So if that is the case, if you think you will enjoy doing that, investing on building a great product sense by deliberately choosing what can you do, right? So you could say that you have the luxury of 20% time. You could say this 20% time I'm going to work with a product manager to move the needle on one of the product initiative. So you are building a new skill set which would make you kind of a very unique person. And it's not many people have that inclination. So it's kind of a relatively blue ocean, which will stay blue for a long time, right? So you're making competition irrelevant for the other. You're not competing on the things that other staff engineers are competing on, which is, okay, what is the highest impact project? I'm going and asking my manager, what is the highest impact project? You are now in a blue ocean, which is risky because you are building a new skill. You could fail there. You could completely bomb. But if you keep your core skill set along with, you're not transitioning completely to product, but you are building great product sense. Now, product managers would want to work with you, right? Because they know that this is the person to go if I want to launch something quickly, because this person gets it, right? I don't have to convince them. I don't have to get things on their roadmap, fight for things to get prioritized to just run a experiment. This person gets it. This person has good product intuition to launch experiments faster. If you become known as a person who can experiment faster by partnering closely with product, or even without a product, you become kind of a unicorn there, right? So you created a blue ocean for yourself. That is one example, but it could be that skill stacking could be anything. Like it could be applying generative AI in something. It could be you have high degree of customer empathy. Most engineers don't even go talk to customer support, right? So if you build that, if you pick the blue ocean to be, I'll be the most customer obsessed engineer in Google, you will be creating opportunities, and you'll be talking to people who other engineers are not talking to, and you will be creating impact, right? So couple of examples of how you could be thinking about that. Was that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. So from what I understand, mainly work on like the skill stacking, but go with your strengths, or at least somewhat prefer your strength.
Yeah.
And look around you what people need.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true for you because I know Google has this culture of 20% thing. It might not work for everyone, but they could take short-term assignments there, right? So if you're not just obsessed about growing to the next level, if you say, suppose you got recently promoted, there is a time where you don't have too much vested interest on, like, hey, I've built towards my next promotion. It will go waste if I try something else, right? So when you get promoted is a great time to experiment other things, because anyway it will take you time in level to get to the next level. That's where it's the lowest risky time in terms of like sunk cost to experiment. So if your company doesn't have that 20% thing, or you can't do it in your 20% stretch, you take a short-term assignment. Hey, work with your manager and say, I'm looking for a short-term assignment on this skill set. Where can I, how can I work on that? Right. So if companies have it, but if there are like critical deadlines, you are not able to move completely to a new short-term assignment, you can say, hey, how can I work on, say, 20%, 30% short-term assignment that builds my core skill set, that helps me make competition irrelevant for myself. So great question. Thanks for that discussion. You went on a really good tangent there. Adi?
Yeah, I was just trying to answer the question around how we can create a monopoly for our career. And one of the things that came to my mind, again, I'd love to get feedback, was the Ikigai diagram, which talks about what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. I think if we can create that kind of a confluence in our career, I think that's easier said than done, but that can, I'm guessing, create value for us because it's a constant driving factor. Yeah, so like I personally love dance a lot, and but from a technical career perspective, that might mean nothing. But if I can maybe invest time in creating a platform that brings the best dance instructors to your drawing room, that might add value, and I might get paid for that, and I could end up creating a monopoly for myself.
Yeah, that's a wonderful example. The only angle I would add to that Ikigai diagram is what you'll get paid for disproportionately, right? So if you can look for that part, then if that is a priority for you, right? So yeah, the scale and leverage that you're building through that platform is a great example of like, okay, I'm building leverage, not just like doing something. I'm not selling my time by just connecting people, but I'm building a platform that I can leverage. So that's a great example. Anand?
So I just had a question related to the blue ocean. So
Yeah.
I moved into the Middle East like a couple of years ago as a Kony developer. So most of the banks in the Middle East use this technology called Kony. But so I can see the pay is easier. I mean, a lot more. There's a lot less competition. But then you don't really enjoy what you do day to day because there's a lot of restrictions in a bank. And so you think, is it worth like living like this, or is it just better to go back to a product organization back in maybe let's say India or something where you learn a lot more, but I would say life's a lot more comfortable here. But yeah, just something like this. So you something like the blue ocean. This is what I could think of. So yeah, suggestions or something.
Yeah, I think you can answer that question because none of us know the context that you are in. But looks like the trade-off that you're trying to make is quality of life in the Middle East, pay quality of life in the Middle East versus getting the risk of getting stagnated in a domain which you are kind of not liking now, and which is that the core of the question?
Yeah, you rephrased it correctly.
Yeah, so it's it's a tough one, man. We have to so we don't know your priorities in terms of like financial and all of that, but if looks like your heart is already starting to think of that, it's a good indication to dive deep and make a decision. Like it's one of the branches that you have to take, right? But the good thing is it's you have so many opportunities. So being in India, can you earn in dollars? That's one thing that if you think money is the biggest factor, you are in Middle East and you are stuck in a domain that you don't like, can you be in India on a domain that you like and earn in dollars is something that I would start thinking deeply.
Okay. Thank you.
Swati?
Yeah, Krishna, when we spoke about the blue ocean and how to have a monopoly, one thing that I think I deliberately think upon is like, what is the problem that people are struggling to solve and still have not solved? But often it's just not enough if you think like, it's okay, you can train yourself to think that way, but how do you identify the problems? So that is one thing. If you get a good head start once you realize that.
Yeah. I think the way to get good at identifying problems is to identify a lot of problems and fail at a lot of them, and then you build intuition. Judgment and intuition you only build by making mistakes, or you learn from so I'll not jump the gun on the next few slides. We'll answer that. That will get answered. If it's not answered, just bring that up again. Okay, Swati?
Okay.
So because I want to take it in a structured way.
Okay.
I want to answer that in a structured way. Adi?
Yeah, I had a question on the point you mentioned earlier around investing in skills that help you make disproportionate money. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of skills that get you disproportionate money, isn't that already red ocean? Like for example, Gen AI or LLMs already seems like it's past the early adoption stage, and it's already red ocean, I think, as of today. So isn't that too late? How do you identify a skill that can make you disproportionate money before it becomes mainstream or before it becomes red ocean?
Yeah, so I would disagree with that. Like, I think if you go by just news articles, 10 LinkedIn posts around 10 tools that that will change your life, AI tools, right? So those would create an optics that it is already a red ocean. So I don't think Gen AI has reached a point like all the startups. I think 99% of the startups that are working in that space don't have a core problem that they are trying to solve. It's Me Too, several Me Too products. Yes, it looks like there are Me Too products competing. It's a red ocean in that sense if you look at the tools, but underlying I think application and solving customer problem, I think there's so much more to go there. Like, for example, like generative AI in agriculture, I don't know how many. So I think the few key rising tides are around AI, specifically generative AI, and application in biology, like application in medicine. There is so much more to do. These are hard things to do, right? With a lot of barrier to entry also, because it's FDA approvals, all of that there, right? So it's a high barrier to entry. So figuring, yeah, so how to apply that. So my short answer is I feel there is so much more there. I wouldn't say that is a red ocean. People, it feels like red ocean because anything that people see doing, the first thing, I wouldn't say it's a bad strategy. I think it's a good strategy to imitate first, right? Any good artist does that, right? So if you look at artist training or curriculum, they imitate excellent artists from the past. So it's a good way to learn. That is also probably the reason why people are building Me Too products, is they are thinking of it as okay, there is a validation here. I'm using this to learn. Instead of me creating something that is not validated, let me just go with this because I am reducing variables. Right? Instead of having to learn a new domain, create a new category, let me go to a category, established market fit category, like a validated category, and just go learn so that I can then learn from it and then go apply it to the real thing. So that's what I'm seeing. But I think this is a trend that we all should be embracing, and I don't think it is too late. We should. So let's take a step back, right? So if you look at the number of people working in IT, what percentage of them are working on AI or Gen AI?
Very little, let's say. Yeah.
Very little, right? So and what percentage of them are using AI or Gen AI to improve their own productivity? It's probably slightly bigger set, but I think one of the biggest thing right now we can do is, even if we are working in a domain which is not fully related to AI and Gen AI, like how can we leverage Gen AI tools to disproportionately improve our productivity, right? I'm sure most of you here, if you're coding, you are using Copilot. If you're not, you are. Is anyone not using GitHub Copilot here? If people who are coding,
I'm trying out AWS Codebase instead of paying for Copilot, but yeah.
Copilot. Okay. Instead of paying for that, is that what?
Yeah, because it's free.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, that's another thing which I see very common. I have been in this situation as well, right? So when it comes to productivity, it's always better to pay for the best one. than to go with a suboptimal one, which is cheaper. Because see how much it's probably $20 per month, Copilot, right? So versus your Amazon clearly has doesn't have the data advantage that Copilot has, GitHub has, right? It would always be suboptimal than so if I were an engineer, I would choose the best tool, even if it is paid, even if it is costly, because the returns, like if it saves me 30 minutes, it's more than what I pay for the month, right? So that's what I would suggest. Like in the world of AI, I think we are moving to a world where the monopolies will get bigger. Like for example, Copilot will get disproportionately better than the second best thing. So it's and because the tendency would be to go to the first best thing, they'll just, because of that flywheel effect, they'll just keep getting better. So the second best option has very low probability. So in the old world, like you could be top 5 and you would still make a lot of money. In the new world, you have to be top 1 or 2. So that's the I think this is also gonna play out in our careers also, because in 3-4 years, a good developer using the right tools with right skill set would be 10x, 20x, 100x more productive than an average developer. So they can get much more done. And teams which are leveraging that, it's gonna completely screw our minds. It's gonna change our economy in a big way. And if we are not embracing that, we don't even know how this will play out, but it's gonna have a big impact on this. So we all should be like shit scared about this. About if we are not already compounding on the learnings of AI and in that domain, we will have a big disadvantage 3 years from now. So yeah, good topic. We went on a really good tangent. Thanks for that prompt. Nikhil?
Just the last point, Krishna, you mentioned around be cognizant of the right set of tools, right? And maybe AI specific tools for productivity. Will it be possible for you to just share the list you are using maybe in one of the Slack chats? One you already mentioned, right?
Copilot, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So Copilot, ChatGPT. ChatGPT now has become like I use this tool which tracks my usage of the tool. So every day I'm spending 30 minutes to 1 hour on ChatGPT. It's amazing how much it's changing my productivity. What am I using it for? I'm using it to like steal my ideas, which is like once I write a proposal, I ask it to create counter arguments for it, like ask questions my CEO will ask me on this proposal. Why is this proposal? Why should we not do it? Make arguments against this proposal. So I'm using this as like and it's amazing the kind of questions even my CEO wouldn't ask sometimes. The quality of that questions are really good, and it's going to only get better. So it's. Yeah, you should be on this. This is a train you should not miss. If you are not using it, please start using it. So Nikhil, so these two are my primary things. But in my workflow, I'm not using like image generation, all of those I'm not using. But ChatGPT, Copilot, I think if you are using, I think they are in a maturity level where they are already at least very conservatively 2x in productivity. We mandated in my current role in my startup, we mandated using it. We started with a pilot. Like all our test cases not all. I would say at least 70% of our test cases ChatGPT is writing. So like Copilot plus ChatGPT is writing. So which is like insane productivity for engineers. So if you're not using it, please feel scared. I don't usually use that word, but please feel scared and use if that helps you. If that helps you motivate to adopt using it, please do that.
Thanks, Krishna.
Swati.
Yeah, Krishna. So AI has been the buzzword for like last 6 or 8 months, and now I haven't had a chance to use ChatGPT or Copilot in my workspace. But one thing is like, I mean, since it is in the initial stages of adaptation by a lot of companies, we talk about using ChatGPT for emails and all. Do you foresee a future where the SDE roles can get replaced by these AI? Because a lot of emphasis is given on improving your coding skills and all that. So if I'm in a situation where I'm not competing with people and a machine, so how do I position myself uniquely? What will be
Yeah.
the kind of roles in the future for engineers?
Yeah. This is a great question. I ponder on this a lot. I don't have a great answer, but what would matter a lot is people who are business centered. The good thing going for you is like if you align yourself with the business, if you learn the skill of having business impact and building customer empathy, figuring out chasing opportunities and seeing opportunities, hunting for opportunities, these three skills if you develop, you would thrive in any way. AI would be just be an helper for you to do this. But most people are their core competence is, hey, I write really great code. I can my speed of coding is higher. I create good designs. All of this is good, but it's going to become more and more commodity. What is not going to become commoditized is business acumen, building business acumen, using AI to solve business problems for your business and having impact to your business. I don't think it will ever go out of fashion. It would, and if you are leveraging these tools to have bigger and bigger impact on the business, I think the role, you might not be called an engineer, software engineer. You might be called something else. I don't know what it would be, but like those kind of roles will be in high demand. And I think in future, there would be a lot of 1%, 2%, 3% companies that that will have outsized valuation because they are solving customer problem with AI with a very small team. So this is the fuzzy picture that I have, which I think is very true. This is going to happen. So how can you be that? How can you position to be in those small teams leveraging AI to solve business problems? This is what, if I am an engineer, this is what I would be thinking on.
Okay.
So again, no one can give you a crystal clear answer because it's so fuzzy out in the future. But directionally, I have a really strong conviction this is where it is heading.
Because
I would love for,
biggest-
because we have this diverse group, I would love for any counter takes or any interesting takes on this topic. Like, how would the future look like for an engineer?
My biggest predicament is today coding is considered a skill. Tomorrow there is an algorithm doing that. It is no longer a skill. Hey, why
Yeah.
should I pay you X amount of dollars when I can license a software that does the same work for me?
Yeah,
And
better,
imagine you have,
even better work for me, right? So
and imagine you have spent years building on that skill set.
yeah, that's true. So we have to. That is fact of life going forward, Swati. So we can either decide to fight it or just embrace it. I don't think any one of us is going to win if we fight it. Adi?
So just to sorry, maybe
Yeah.
someone has raised his hand. Maybe I will talk later. Huh? Will raise a hand.
No, please go ahead. That's all right. You already started.
I was just adding to like computer can code for us, right? From that standpoint. So if we take an example, let's say if I have to build a CRUD application and plain vanilla objects to be retrieved and rendered on the UI, maybe yes, AI can solve that for us. But if I take a different example of, let's say, a B2B software in e-commerce, which is running in the warehouse, right? And it has all very complex state machine transitions where a product is picked from a shelf and packed at an invoicing dock, right? Just being a real world example, because I have worked on something like this. So I'm not sure how these complex PRDs will be fed to a AI software to come up with a code around it, right? Even it can write a single correct test case for that, right? Can it think of one of the stuff is fell from the trolley in the between and has been put on a random shelf? Now your warehouse inventory has been disturbed. So just what I'm trying to say is maybe yes, a time will come and we should be cognizant, and as Krishna said, maybe at times scared also to push us. But still, there are limitations, right, in the existing tech where replacing someone for coding seems has a very limited use case. That's the way my limited knowledge I'm able to portray, right, or build an opinion. Maybe I am wrong here.
Yeah. So, Nikhil, my recommendation to you is like try out these tools. I'm sure you will be mind blown by what the capabilities are today. I'm not even talking about the future. You'll be mind blown by the capabilities today, and just try to see if you can apply that to your current work. Are you applying either Copilot or like GitHub on ChatGPT to solve your problems? Because I'm talking with high conviction here, because we ran a pilot 3 months ago, and the results really blew our mind. And all engineers in my company today have access to Copilot, and they have immensely improved their productivity, easily 2x. And engineers are saying that like it's conservatively 2x productivity improvement, more in many cases. Like debugging times have gone down because you just copy paste stuff, like hairy issues that could take like 2 weeks to solve. Like you throw a bunch of code at ChatGPT and it's able to figure out things that are not on the internet, not on Stack Overflow. It is able to figure out, pinpoint the function which function parameters that are used wrong. I'm really mind blown and shit scared. So try it. I'm sure you will be mind blown.
No, Krishna, I will work on that feedback definitely. Input definitely.
Adi?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to what Swati was asking earlier as well. And the way I look at it is evolve rather than replace. I think like, just to give you an example, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, anyone with a good SLR camera and a good set of lens could be a photographer. So we used to have people who weren't particularly skilled at photography, but they had the equipment and they'd have a photo studio and they'd take passport photos. Now those jobs are gone because of the smartphone, but good good photographers continue to use a DSLR. So my point is, to your point earlier, Krishna, like I think the top 1-2 people who are extremely good at it might not get replaced, but everyone who's just cruising along with certain skill sets with mediocrity or above average will either have to evolve. Like there are a lot of filmmakers who use an iPhone for filmmaking today. So either you will have to evolve with the new tools to keep ourselves continue to be valued, or we'll have to be at like the top of the food chain to not be affected by these tools at all.
Yeah, that's a great analogy there. Thanks for connecting those two dots. And Nikhil, like coding jobs would exist, but like the companies who need a team of 30 would need a team of 3. So that's where I see things are going. So so will you be in that
Understood.
3 or will you be in that 27 is the question. That's the hard part.
Able to relate what you are saying, and I think Aditya just mentioned around the iPhone example for making movies. So
Yeah.
Right. Good to happy to change my perspective and work towards it more. Right.
Awesome. So how to build monopoly? We talked about a few things. We talked about blue ocean. So don't compete for projects. Think about differentiation. So this is the keyword here. If I have to summarize all of this bootcamp, differentiating yourself, being deliberate about it, that is the key thing. And it's super hard. We'll try to do that with some activities, but it's going to be super hard. And this is not just like this week and next week. We'll try to do activities around how to differentiate ourselves over the in the community going forward as well, because it's not something that you can do in 2 weeks. So one thing I want you to take away is like you should be really thinking about what is my key differentiator, what is it that I'm uniquely qualified for today. If I'm not uniquely qualified for today, 2 years down the line, what would I want to be uniquely qualified for? That would set me up in a place where opportunities will flow to me and I can decide which to swing at, right? How do I place myself 2 years down the line where opportunities are flowing to me and I get to pick, versus I scrambling for how do I survive in the new world? So we have a action item. So we are almost out of time. So I want you to do this activity. So I feel okay to continue. Do you guys want to continue? Just give me a quick thumbs up if you can continue for maybe 30 more minutes.
Can we get a break? I'm happy to continue with.
Yeah, let's take a break. It's been 2 hours, so let's take a break. 5 minutes. Okay, so 9. We'll take like a 4 minutes break. Be back in 4 minutes. Okay, start at the hour.
Here is the link for this.
I'll be sharing the link. So the ask is make a copy of the file and put your name at the beginning. So instead of the name workbook, just put your name and make it as a workbook.
I think it's asking for access.
Oh, okay.
So probably I
Let me-
think we'll get requests.
Just a second. Share. Editor. Starting to access. Okay. You should be able to access it now. So the idea is each of us will have our own workbooks and then we'll work on that. So copy this file. I'll be, as the bootcamp progresses, I'll be adding more things here. So a couple of folks are taking a break. So I won't, I will have to repeat these things. So I'll also take a break. Encourage you all to take a break, like take 3 minutes break and be back. Okay.
Yeah, and just check if we have access. I still don't have access.
Oh, you don't have access yet.
Yeah, even I don't have access. It's still asking me for access.
Okay, just a second. Hmm. Can you try again, please? Let me make sure if this time it has.
Yeah, I have it now. Thanks.
Okay. So let's take 2-3 minutes break and come back. If you're back, please come back on video so that we know you are back. You. Anand, Mohammed, Adi. Yes, no. Yeah, okay, awesome. So you guys are back. Hopefully everyone is back. So let me make sure you guys copy. Did you? So the ask is, there is a template file. The workbook. So make a copy of this workbook and put your name. And we'll start working on this. We'll use this workbook for the rest of the bootcamp. I'll be placing activities here, which we'll be working together. So the first thing you need to do is make a copy of this workbook. Start with your name so that we can easily identify whose workbook it is. And then we'll do, so this is a short 5 minutes activity to cover breadth of things. Like today, let's evaluate in these skills. Do you have any differentiators? Or do you want my current differentiators? Or my differentiators today? Which are differentiators? Basically, we are trying to see if you already have a differentiator in these areas. That a differentiator is something where you constantly get feedback from either your peers or your managers that, hey, you are top 5% in this area. You are top, you are top talent in this area. Either an area where you, if you look at your previous rating, some area where you got an exceeds rating from your manager. You are like something where you think you have a natural inclination towards or a natural strength towards, that could be your differentiator. So list your current differentiators, and in the technical skills, with the discussion that we had and the future world that you see, what is a differentiator that you would like to have today, right? So this may this is like a high leverage differentiator you would like to build for yourself. So this is being thoughtful and deliberate about how do you differentiate yourself. This is basically, most people struggle when we say, hey, you need to differentiate. So this is, we are breaking down as a tech engineer or a tech leader, what are the core skills and how do you differentiate? So for leaders here, so leadership is a broad skill, but you could add, feel free to add skills that you think where you want to differentiate in your own doc. Is the activity clear? What we are trying to do?
Sir, could you repeat that, Krishna? I just joined.
Oh, Adi. So so first you create your workbook, then in the by copying this template, just make a copy of this, put your name so that we know it's yours, and you can keep working on that. I'll be adding more activities as when the session goes. Then in the differentiate yourself section, we are trying to identify your current differentiators and what is the differentiators that you want to build, so that we can be more deliberate about those.
Got it. So the name workbook, is that available in the?
Yeah, so it's in the Google folder that I shared on Slack. So name workbook, it's probably someone renamed it. You can just
Use
copy,
one.
yeah, copy one of those, because everything is, the source is the same.
Okay.
Let's take 5 minutes to think through this. I don't want to give any suggestions here, because that would be like giving you, I don't want to influence your thinking yet on this. Start with what you feel today. Create a shitty first draft of this, and then we'll be iterating on this.
Hey, about the learning style, right? If you go scroll down.
Yeah, learning style is the next activity. Learning style is the next activity. Don't worry about it yet. Just focus on this. Okay.
Sure, I'm feeling actually like what I feel to feel. That's it.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. I'll explain that, and that's good. So if you are Vijay, you didn't took a break So we can start. Either if you want to take a break, you can take, or we can. Let's do this. Let's give everyone 5 minutes to think through this. And Vijay, if you are done, you can feel free to take a break.
Yeah, I'm done. I'll just be here.
Yeah.
I'm in India, so I think once the dinner time comes, then my video will go up.
Ah.
So
Sorry, once what comes, Vijay?
once the dinner time comes.
Oh, dinner time. Okay, got it. Yeah. It's especially hard for folks in India. I think with our new schedule will probably be much easier, better for India. So we'll wind up in 20 minutes. Okay. So hopefully you can spend your dinner, have your dinner with family. Okay. Bhaskar, I've been calling you Vijay from the name
Yes.
here. Okay, let's look at this.
So do you want me to go through or?
No, I'm just reading it.
Okay.
I'm just reading it. Just we are giving like folks 4 more minutes to fill their. So the focus, while everyone is, so focus is on like, how do you differentiate yourself? How do you earn a premium value for your time and energy? How do you not be a commodity? This is a good start. Vijay will be iterating on this. So good start. Bhaskar. Sorry. Wait 2 more minutes. Are most folks done? Give me a thumbs up once you're done. For sure. So what we did right now is is another key idea. So shitty first draft, right? There's a common phrase that I've used in my previous bootcamp also. So what is the difference? Like make shitty first draft and make the shitty draft good is much more faster than making something good out of the bat. So the idea is like we are creating a shitty first draft of our differentiators, and then based on what we learn, we'll iterate. All the insights that you have, the rest of the bootcamp will iterate, and we'll keep coming back to this. Differentiating yourself is the key. So remember this. This doesn't have to be perfect right now. The idea is that we are just here. We'll be doing more of this as we go through the rest of the sessions. Anyone wants to volunteer to go through their we'll cover one or two, and then we'll go to the final activity for the day. Anyone wants to?
You can use mine.
Okay. And for the next one, like anyone wants, anyone who had like an insight while working on the shitty first draft, you can raise your hand where you had like an interesting insight while you were filling it up. Okay, Swati, your technical. So if you're not speaking, you can go on mute. There is some noise in the background. Mission skills.
I'm still trying to identify the differentiators, Krishna. So
Yeah, that's
on
good.
the
Yeah, this is good. That's the intent. That's why we are here. So it's good. So you are if you can also add your role so that I can when I'm
Sure.
giving feedback that I can understand for everyone, like if you can add your role as well. So if you are an people manager, ST3, your level, years of experience, that would be great. Role and year of experience.
Yeah, I just updated.
Got it. Okay.
So do you want to split up of my previous experience or my current experience at the company?
No, I think this is good. So okay. So SD16 means like, is this years of experience or is this 6 is a level or something?
No, that is years of experience. So
Okay.
earlier I was a system development engineer, then I moved to software development engineer.
Got it. Thanks for that context. Okay, I think this is a good start. We'll do some activities tomorrow and we'll iterate more. This is good. And this is a common, so don't feel bad about this. This is a common thing where people are unsure about. So don't feel bad about that. Anyone else wants to, and we'll solve for it. Okay, so anyone else wants to go? Any volunteers to?
You can look at mine.
Sorry, who was that?
Abhinav here.
Abhinav, okay.
I haven't really populated future ones, but at least the spend some time on the current.
You are a software engineer 10 years. Okay. I like the repetition. So one thing is, I don't know if there are going to be pure ML kind of roles. Because it's going to be so consolidated with open, like my hypothesis is that there will be like 3-4 big players who give models, and they'll have like few roles. They'll employ like top of the top ML core ML engineers, and majority of the opportunities will be elsewhere. I don't know where, but pure ML roles. One way to look at it is like it might even go down than how many roles are there today. So that's one hypothesis that I have. So just something to keep in mind. So again, it's good that 99% of the world is not thinking this way yet, but you have an unfair advantage that you're starting to think of being deliberate on all of this. So the reason I'm saying this is when I've done this in the past with my the people I'm coaching, like they're like, why am I not already doing this? It's like the beating yourself up tendency comes up. So don't. It's good that you are doing this. It's the reason why you are here is to uncover all these gaps and be intentional and deliberate about it. So we'll figure out how to identify these things over the next few days. Okay, so good. So I want one leader to go.
Mine is not complete, but I've taken a stab at it.
Okay, Aditya. Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll come to you. Jing, are you done?
I'm not quite finished yet. Probably we can go with details.
Okay, Aditya's first. Okay. Yeah, I love how you're breaking the things down. So you're getting into details. I love how you're breaking things down into components, right? This is good. This is a good list, good start.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, this again is a pattern that I'm seeing. Is like this is where we are all struggling, right? So yeah, we'll focus on that. Okay, this is good. We have 10 more minutes. Let's go to the next activity. So to the best of your knowledge, even after the session, yeah, we have some time, right? For folks in US at least, India folks, please do go have dinner. Folks in US, like spend 30 minutes on this. This is a super high leverage activity. Figure out based on your own work experience and where the skill sets that your company values or your role values or your domain or your function values. There may be more skills to add here. So think and be more deliberate about this. Can you all commit to like spending 30 minutes today on this, on your workbook? Can I get a thumbs up? Well, this is really high leverage, so please do that. Sorry, I interrupted someone.
Yeah, can you please explain that again? Okay, so the ask is, Bhaskar, you can go have dinner and come back to it tomorrow morning. That is also fine. The ask is to spend 30 minutes on this activity, identify your differentiators today, and for the things that are empty, just spend a bit more time and think of what does influence mean, right? What am I good at? In my past experience, where I have been able to influence,
why was it successful? What core skill made me successful when I was able to influence someone? That is probably a differentiator. Business acumen is something around, hey, did I propose something that got approved in the roadmap in the past? Why was I able to have that insight and able to propose that? That is probably signaling to a skill that you already have. And if you're not able to find something, it's okay, leave it blank. We'll figure out how to get there. Okay.
Sure, it's like giving a second pass to
Yeah,
whatever
give it
we
a
have.
second pass. Spend 30 minutes. Get into the root of things. So here, yeah, even business things where you are given a superficial answer, I want you to go deep.
Mhm.
Leverage, I think you're probably misunderstanding what leverage means.
Yeah, I can make it better. I understand
Yeah.
what it is about.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, the commitment I want is by tomorrow's session, spend more time on your current differentiators, and some, if you can only spend 30 minutes, spend on current differentiators, and then we'll if you have extra time, work on future differentiators. Okay.
Sure.
Let's move to the next key thing. This is a really difficult question. And what do I really want? It can become spiritual debate. It can, but this is a high leverage question to ask. Specifically, if you narrow down the scope of it to only career, and if you narrowed it down to things that you can clearly understand, articulate, feel, right? So in your career, right, for the rest of your career, what do I really want? If rest of your career is too ambiguous, too big, make it small. So go to five years. So try to see if you can visualize 10 years. If that is getting difficult, try to see if you can visualize 5 years. So try to articulate what you really want, because most of us tend to go through life just going through the motions without really articulating what we really want. So we might be climbing a wrong ladder. We might be working on a thing that we might regret when we are 70. So it's important, like if you create a stack rank, because all of us are going to have different stack rank only on these key areas that I'm noting here. But once you have that stack rank, the quality of decisions that you'll be making would be much higher when you are choosing either to build a future differentiator. I want all of us to ground ourselves in what we really want out of life and our career. So if what you want out of life is too ambiguous, too touchy-feely, it's hard to articulate, start with what you want out of your career. Start with 10 year. If it is too difficult, you are unable to figure out something about it, cut down to 5 years. If even that is too ambiguous, cut down to 2 years. Don't go less than 2 years, because that is too short term of a thinking. Okay, clear? Snigdha, you had a question.
I was gonna, you probably touched upon what I was gonna say. I wanted to ask, is it what do you want in your career now, or what do you want in your career 2 years from now, 3 years from now? So I think you addressed that.
So with this in mind, right, can you add your stack rank here? So let's take 2-3 minutes with only these factors. In your working doc, just add a section called stack rank of my priorities, and just list down what is your current stack rank. Make it as a shitty first draft. And it's an important question. I think this question will come back to you in the next 2 days. while you are cooking or taking a bath. Just ponder upon that, and your stack rank might change based on deeper thinking. So let your subconscious work on it also. So the ask now is just in your document, add a section called stack rank and stack rank these aspects. Or if you have other aspect that is not covered here, add it and stack rank those. Let's review a couple of stack ranks.
Are we just ranking these portions on like a Google Doc? Or like
Yeah, in your workbook,
Okay.
Adi, just add a section called stack rank.
Okay.
And just stack rank these things in there. Leonardo, is that how am I spelling your name right? Am I calling?
Yes, I understand everything.
Okay,
Thanks.
that's awesome. Okay, that's good. So let's once you have it, let's go with your doc. Just give me a thumbs up and we can read that. Anyone else is ready?
I just added a section, Krishna.
Okay, awesome. Swati, stack rank. Achievement, meaningful time, independence. Good. Was this difficult? Was it super clear in your mind already? Is it just articulating it, or was it like were you making the decision while you were doing it?
I have been working for a while, Krishna. So a little bit of background. So I started off as an SRE, and I moved to system development engineering, then to software development engineering. That's why you see an SD1 for 6 years. So I tried really hard not to put myself into a box. So as they say, like in the initial years of your career, you can, wait and watch and see what you like. Now I can say I am at a place where I'm really enjoying the kind of work, what I'm doing. And secondly, the reason I have prioritized, you see this list in this order is because I hate being choiceless, defenseless, and helpless. So these are the things that, everything that I do is centered around this philosophy.
Got it. So your core value is choice and independence. Yeah, it's great to have that clarity. This is good. This is your list. I'm sure others' lists are going to be very different. Anyone else is ready?
I'm ready.
Snigdha.
For some background, I'm coming out of a layoff, so I had a lot of time to think about my stack rank of priorities.
This is great. So that's a good part about it, right? So I'm sure it's been super difficult, but it's the clarity that you're probably feeling. We can see that in your face when you just mentioned it.
This was the easiest part of your workshop so far for me.
Okay. Good. Very good. Thanks for sharing. Leonardo, do you want to go?
Oh,
Okay,
Maria,
Gatti. You prefer being called Gatti?
Yeah, you can call me Gachi. Yeah.
Catchy. Okay, catchy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sense of pride and achievement, interesting work, meaningful work, independent. It's very rare to see this being at the bottom. I would note that.
I think it's because of the moment of my career. It's not the top priority. For now, I'm looking for other things.
Got it. Yeah, it's great. So this the reason I'm doing this as a group is like just to give the perspective. Ranga, you had something? You were sharing something? I cut you off.
I also have the same as Leonardo.
Okay. Got it here. Yeah. Yeah, having this clarity really helps, right? So what I've seen where people struggle and get confused more is they start with a tactical goal without having a strategic vision for the life or for the plan for the next year. So next few years. So I think this would be super helpful for each of you. Okay, so this is clear. So the ask before the next call is using your stack rank. See what are your differentiators, and now that you have your stack rank and your current differentiators, does that help you figure out what are the future differentiators that you want? So spend this activity. We'll all meet tomorrow. So we'll again meet tomorrow for about 2.5 hours, so that folks in India can go have dinner and spend time with family. And then we'll also meet next week. So you'll get calendar updates for these. And see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Krishna.
Have a good
Thank you.
have a good
you,
weekend,
Krishna.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Krishna.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.